if this was my basement wall, I'd be pretty happy with how clean it was. It looks good. Yes?
It's in pretty good shape, but there are a couple issues already that I've seen down here.
Uh-oh.
Down below here, we actually have some efflorescence.
Is that dangerous?
No, actually it's
Okay.
not. It's just salt. And what happens is the water moves through concrete. It actually pushes the salts that are actually in the concrete out into the air. And as the water dries,
Oh, it's like fuzzy.
it
Look
leaves
at that.
efflorescence, and it's just salt. It is harmless.
It is?
It is harmless. This is not mold. Different story.
Okay.
Okay.
Will this continue to grow? Will this become a very fuzzy corner, or is this as much as we're going to see, or do you have to get rid of it?
Sure. It's not a health concern. You should get rid of it, but you should address the problem. As we said, water is still coming in, so we need to stop the water from coming into the house.
Okay.
And in this case, it's creating efflorescence. If there was insulation, 2x4s, and drywall, there's a good chance it could create mold.
Because we are seeing signs moisture's getting through,
Right.
but the concrete isn't
Isn't
fostering the mold.
Isn't fostering the mold, exactly.
Is that why drywall can get those kind of black brownie spots on it?
Those black brownie spots, usually in the basement, usually in a corner down in the floor, is water that's come through from the outside, and it's starting to grow. Mold, just like us, need food and water.
Okay.
So what we're seeing is it's got the drywall to chew on, and it's got moisture from the outside, so there's food and water for the mold to grow.
So what are we going to do now then?
Well, if we had a little bit of mold, the homeowner, a small spot, we can clean it. We can't deal with large spots, and ultimately we always have to find the source and stop it so the mold won't continue to grow. But we're going to clean this little efflorescence and sort of pretend it was mold.
Oh, okay,
Sure.
sure. How much do you consider to be a little efflorescent or a little mold?
I wouldn't want anyone dealing with anything sort of bigger than a baseball size.
Get out of here.
So, well, it's what's behind the wall that we don't know. And certainly if the mold continues to come back, it's the concern that what's behind the wall. So we don't want to open it up. If we're dealing with just surface stuff, the homeowner can deal with that.
All right, in the corner, in the top corner of the bathroom?
The top corner in the bathroom, we always
Take
see
care of
mold
it.
from high humidity in bathrooms.
Okay. So if we were tackling mold, I notice you've got a few things out for us here.
Gloves, have some rubber gloves, have a respirator. You can wear goggles if you want. Certainly we just don't want the mold to spore off. So what we use, instead of bleach, which is typical, they used to use, we use soap and water. Now we can use regular dish soap, or we can use, TSP. I just got a bucket of water in here, and we just pour some TSP right in.
Regular dish soap?
Regular
or
dish.
TSP?
Regular dish soap or
See,
TSP.
I thought this was really wicked strong stuff, but it's not.
It's not mixed in with enough water. It's just fine.
Okay.
Now what we need to do
Yes.
is the soap breaks the surface tension on the wall, and the water will encapsulate the mold. So the mold will simply just stay within the water, and we'll rinse it out in the bucket. Versus if we bleached it, it would actually spore off, and then we'd have mold in the air, plus the toxicity of the chlorine in the bleach. So we'd get a headache and mold, and nothing would be accomplished.
And a lot of people think that bleach is the way to do this.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's go ahead and
Sure.
show the technique. Now, this is actually efflorescence, right? So we don't need the
This is efflorescence, so there's
I'm
no
going to
health
take this
concern.
off, but I don't know if you'll be able to hear me when I do this. But I would certainly be wearing this if this were mold, and these rubber gloves are great.
But any rubber gloves will do as well. You can just have dish gloves or whatever you have in the house. And if you don't have a respirator, then a typical dust mask, an N95 dust mask you can get at the hardware store, will work just fine as well.
Okay. So a damp sponge.
Damp sponge,
And
good and
if this
wet.
were mold,
And we just want to get it nice and wet.
oh, so you're really going to coat it.
Yeah, because we want that water to catch it, to wrap right around it. Okay, so we don't want sort of dry washing. We want nice wet washing, and then rinsing in the TSP, which just takes the mold off the wall. But again, we want only a very small spot. We still need to find the source first and stop the source of water coming in.
Now, we're doing this on concrete, or if it was one little corner. If this was bigger, like we were talking about, a sheet of drywall or a large area, is that time to get a professional in, or you?
Sure. Yeah, we need to have professional mold remediators come in, and do it properly,
Oh, what a nightmare.
depressurize, so we don't spread the mold through the house and make everyone
Okay.
really sick.
After we've soaked a small spot of mold with the TSP in the water, are we wiping it or are we just letting it settle?
We need a dehumidifier in here in the
Okay.
basement. Get the dehumidifier going to take the moisture out of the wall so that the mold can't grow. We need to stop the moisture within the wall. So
Okay.
dehumidifier in your basement all the time. Get an Energy Star one, get one that has the little hygrometer on it, and keep it around 45% humidity.
45%?
Yep.
All right. Next, we're going to work something up in the kitchen.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go.